Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan, and as promised, guys, I will be talking about some midfielders today. I know we've spoken a lot about defenders this week, far too much about defenders this week. So yeah, I think maybe the midfielders are getting a little bit of, not enough attention, because maybe a few of you guys are dealing with situations, whether you've got a Havertz in your team, a Foden in your team, or, maybe whoever else you've got in your team that you're not quite happy with them. You want to move them on. I'm seeing a lot of people in this situation, and we've got to kind of figure out who the best midfielders are. So we're going to be going through all of the most popular midfield options today in today's video, and at the end of the video we're going to do a direct comparison between all of them to try and find out the final answer, the best possible answer of who is the best midfielder for you to bring into your FPL teams, not just for this week but for weeks going forward over the Christmas period, etc, etc. So yeah, hopefully going to be really useful for you guys. If you do enjoy this video, please do leave a like, it really helps out the channel, and of course subscribe if you are new around here too. But before we go any further, I should let you know that this video is sponsored by Surfshark, a VPN service that keeps your identity safe online from hackers and scammers. It's basically like installing an Edouard Mendy to your PC or mobile phone. But not only this, Surfshark also allows you to browse the internet as if you were from a different country or in a different country. If you don't have access to certain football channels and networks in your country, no problem. You can set your location to somewhere else using Surfshark, and you can now access it. You might be having this annoying this content is unavailable in your country message. It's fine. Switch up your country to somewhere else. But here's my favorite feature. If you've watched everything on Netflix and you want to unlock all of the content on USA Netflix, for example, you can easily do so. Maybe you're from the US and you want to see what we have over here in the UK. Again, you can switch faster than I can switch my captain to Salah using Surfshark. Protect your identity, be safe online, and access web content around the world wherever you are. And right now, since it's Black Friday, you can get 83% off and 4 months extra for free using promo code FPL Mate, all one word, or you can simply click on the link in the description. It really helps out the channels, supports the channel, and you get a great service for a real discount as well. And if you somehow don't like it, there's also a 30-day money back guarantee. Everyone wins. So I guess it makes sense to start off with Jota. That's going to be the popular pick for a lot of people if they're going for that midfielder, aren't they? Yeah, it's a really obvious pick, a nice pick indeed. Really good fixtures. We know that he's going to be playing in the absence of Firmino, and we also know that maybe if we keep him a little bit longer term throughout to January, there's going to be Salah and Mane jetting off for the African Cup of Nations, and Jota is going to be, once again the star of the show. So looking like a really good pick. Even when Firmino's back, even when they've got a full roster, Jota is still going to be readily available and playing a lot of matches over the busy Christmas period. So it's going to be a really good pick. Maybe a little bit of rotation risk towards the end of January, but right now, really nice fixtures. He's looking really good. You can see that he's in his last in the last 5 game weeks. Even though he's only started 3 games for the last 5 game weeks, he's scored 2. He's got an assist. His XG looks good. He's taken a decent amount of shots in the box, but more importantly, he's getting those big chances and he's creating those big chances as well. So maybe not a high numbers, but the quality of the chances that he's getting and creating is very high, and that's kind of indicative of what Jota's all about, and we really like that. And here we have the alternative. Maybe you've already got Jota, or maybe you're just not interested in Jota. We have got Bernardo, a little bit cheaper than Jota as well, so maybe it's a budget issue perhaps, but this is a really nice midfielder with some really nice stats as well. We've seen recently that he's been doing really well, scoring a lot of goals, and his underlying stats look really good. So he is, it's not just he's doing well by fluke or by luck. He's backing it up with good stats. He's marauding from the midfield, playing into those advanced positions. Sometimes even playing as a false 9 striker in some games. Really looking good. Now the one consideration, the one thing that maybe might put you off Bernardo is that Man City may be prone to rotation over the busy December period, right? We are expecting a bit of rotation, and with Bernardo having played 90 minutes against in the Champions League against PSG, maybe Bernardo is going to be a little bit worn out. I don't know if they necessarily have the players to rotate Bernardo with at the moment, but if they do, maybe he is rested for this game week, and it's a game at home against West Ham. It's not the best fixture in the world, so those are the kind of things that put me off. But if it wasn't for those fixtures, he would probably be the best one to go for, wouldn't he? Because his stats look amazing. He's playing so well. We absolutely love the look of Bernardo as well. Now we have Maxwell Cornetto, give him to me. He has been scoring a lot of goals. We'll call him the in-form. He's the in-form guy right now. 4 goals in his last 5 games. That's pretty impressive. He's been playing as a striker despite being listed as a midfielder. But what I would say is 2 things when we're looking at Cornet. 1, the fixtures don't look too good. Spurs at home, Spurs under Conte were expecting their defence to be a little bit better. We've already kind of seen, glimpses of that. Wolves away, that's going to be a little bit tough. Newcastle's a nice fixture, but then after that, West Ham at home. Again, not really a good fixture, not really a fixture we'd want to be targeting. So the fixtures in general are not really ideal, are they? The other consideration with Cornet is that his underlying stats are not particularly amazing, are they? We've seen that he's scored 4 goals, but from an expected goals of 1.52. He scored 4 goals, but he's only had 7 shots. Is he really prolific? Maybe you'll say he's really prolific, or maybe you say that maybe he is overperforming a little bit, and at some point he is going to regress to the mean, and his stats will kind of balance out. His goals will start to be a little bit more in line with his expected goals. That's kind of something that we usually see in larger sample sizes. So maybe this is a little bit luck. Maybe this is a little bit too good to be true. Here we have Emil Smith-Rowe, who is, basically the same in that regard. So I'm calling him the overachiever because 3 goals from 0.65 XG. He hasn't had a single big chance, yet he scored 3 goals in his last 5 games. Again, not many shots. He's been a little bit creative. His assist stats matching up. 1 assist for 1.12 expected assists. But we need to think, again, is he in really good form at the moment? How long is that form going to last? Is he going to regress to the mean? Is he going to, fall back in line with his stats a little bit more? He is overachieving massively. Now, the good thing about Smith-Rowe is that his fixtures actually do look really good. We've got Newcastle at home next, which is really, really nice. Certainly, if you have Smith-Rowe right now, you can consider yourself very lucky. He's a really good player to have. But is he a player we want to be bringing in for the future? Now, that is a little bit of a question. Now, I know the fixtures look good in general, but they're also kind of mysterious, mysterious in many ways. Newcastle's at home, great. Manchester United away, we don't even know how they're going to perform. Everton away, yes, they have been really bad recently, but are they going to, have a little bit of improvement, particularly when they have some of their players back? I don't know. Southampton, I've kind of mentioned before that Southampton have kind of quietly been one of the better defences in the league. So although I'm listing them as a green fixture, I don't know if I'm perhaps maybe mistaken or incorrect in listing Southampton at home as a green fixture. We'll leave it as green for now, but teams have struggled against Southampton to score. So yeah, I don't know for sure. But the biggest headline here is that Smith-Rowe is massively overperforming his stats. Do you trust him to keep doing that? If so, maybe he's your guy. We've got Gallagher now, and he is the golden boy. Now, he is a guy a lot of people are looking for. He's one of the most popular transfers in for the game week out of all FPL players, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking at him too. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already transferred him in. A lot of you guys are really, really liking the look of this. He's up to 6.1 million now, so he is getting a little bit more expensive. He's not that super, super cheap guy anymore. The fixtures look good. Aston Villa at home, nice. Leeds away, not bad. Man United away, not bad. Everton at home, not bad. Again, a little bit of mystery about how some of these fixtures will actually play out in real terms, but certainly each of these teams have been struggling a little bit recently, maybe with the exception of Leeds, which I do think is going to be a little bit tough for Crystal Palace. But yeah, who knows? The point is, with Gallagher, not only is he performing really well, 2 goals, 2 assists in his last 5, he seems to be getting on the score sheet every single game, whether that's a goal or assist. Absolutely incredible. He just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. But his stats are not actually too far out of line with his underlying stats. So although he scored 2 goals, 2 assists, he is almost there with his expected. And maybe you can say that he's good enough to outperform these stats. We don't really know. We've not really got enough historical data on Gallagher because he's not been around that long. So he is a little bit of a mystery. Can he keep performing at this level? I don't know. We all like the look of him, right? He looks really good. Is this form? Is this just a fantastic football player? If it's the latter, again, this is your pick. And while we're on the topic of Crystal Palace, let's throw in Zaha as well, the big risk. He's been known to be a bit of a troll player in FPL before. The moment you bring him in is the moment he stops performing. Of course, that is all just, that's not based in real life. That's just speculation. That's just, us being maybe a little bit... I can't remember. I can't think of what the word is. Superstitious. Maybe it's us being a little bit superstitious around Zaha, but it does seem to happen all the time. But if you don't believe in superstitious stuff, the stats look really quite good. They look really quite good. So 4 games played in the last 5. One of those was a sub appearance, and he's managed to get 2 goals. Decent amount of XG there. He's taken a decent amount of shots as well. We know he's on penalties as well, which is really nice. So lots of things to like here about Zaha. It's just a case of how much do you trust him, and maybe the fact that the Crystal Palace are playing so well, and we do want to get involved in that Crystal Palace attack, don't we? Maybe the fact that we are loving Crystal Palace. We know Zaha's going to play every single game. He's their main player. The only games that he's kind of missed, it's been through through being unavailable really and being eased back into the team. That's why he had that substitute appearance as well. So I don't worry about him being rotation risk. He's not. Fixtures again pretty decent. So yeah, a risky one, but maybe you fancy it. And guys, I just want to do 2 more who I don't think are massive considerations, but I wanted to give them a name check anyway, because I'm not going to put these last 2 players in the final comparison, because I'm really not convinced that they are the ones to go for, but they are good enough to be worth mentioning. So quick mentions to Trossard, the underachiever. He is underperforming on his stats. One of his goals was from a penalty, but he is on penalties, which is nice. He's playing as a striker despite being listed as a midfielder, but the problem is with Brighton is that they struggle to score goals in general, which means, he is going to underachieve. His expected assists, he's never going to reach the full potential of that. His expected goals, is he actually good enough, as a striker, as a forward in the Premier League? I don't know, but he's taking a lot of shots. He's getting a lot of chances. Maybe worth considering. That's kind of up to you guys. The fixtures, again, okay. They're not bad, but yeah, I'm not convinced by this one, so we'll move on. And Jarrod Bowen absolutely deserves a shout out. Not a player I want to go for right now, which is why he doesn't make the final list, but here, this is the early bird transfer. If you want to go for Bowen with you want to get on him now, ready for later. The fixtures do look really nice, sort of from game week 16 onwards. They look amazing for a long time. If Antonio is ever rested, Bowen will fill in as the striker. And I mean, look at these stats, guys. 1 goal, 4 assists in his last 5 games. That's an average of a goal contribution every single game. His XG looks good. His expected assists look good. He's taken a lot of shots in the box. Lots of things to really like about Bowen as well, but perhaps a little bit too early for me to go for him. Right, so let's compare these players. This is all of the players in front of you right now, side by side, all of their stats in a row there. We're going to kind of have a look through these stats and what each player excels at, and then maybe we're definitely going to end up the video with putting them in order from best to worst. That's what we're going to do at the end of this video, guys. So you just bear with me 1 minute. We're just going to run through some of these stats. So I'm going to highlight now on screen for you guys who is the best in each stat, who tops the chart in each of the respective stats. And these stats, by the way, are from the player's last 5 starts in the Premier League. So we're kind of assuming we're doing these stats on the basis that this player is going to start every single game. So per start, the last 5 starts that they've had, that this is what they're getting per game from each start. Right, okay, you get it. I'm sure you get it by now. But anyway, we're seeing Zaha taking the most shots. That's probably not too surprising. He's probably the most attacking player out of these teams, or maybe you'll say Cornetto is maybe the most attacking player, but he's playing in a less attacking side. Crystal Palace is a pretty attacking side, and we know Zaha is one of the main attackers from that team. Shots in the box is pretty much split. Jota, Bernardo, Zaha, they're taking the most shots in the box. Cornetto, Smith Rowe, Gallagher, not taking many shots in the box. We kind of understand why Smith Rowe and Gallagher wouldn't, because perhaps they're playing a little bit deeper in the team. So yeah, maybe a few more pot shots from them. Big chances, Jota is top. Like I was saying earlier, guys, he may not have a huge amount of chances, but he has a decent amount of chances. He doesn't have an enormous amount of chances, but the chances that he does have, they're always really, really good chances as well. So yeah, he's standing out there. Smith Rowe, as we know, no big chances. So in each of his last 5 starts, Smith Rowe has not had a single big chance to score. So maybe he's overachieving a little bit. I don't know. You guys you'll have to tell me that. Expected goals, we're seeing the same thing. Smith Rowe, rock bottom of that table. But we are seeing some really nice expected goal stats here from Bernardo. So we can see the chances that he does get are really good. Jota, the chances that he does get, really good. Zaha, the chances that he does get, again, really good, but there was also a penalty in there for Zaha. One of the goals that he scored during this period was a penalty. So, maybe that's kind of conflating the stat a little bit there. But maybe you think, okay, well, out of this list, Zaha is the only player on this list who actually takes penalties. So maybe you see that as an advantage. I don't know. That's kind of up to you guys. As for key passes, Gallagher is the most creative of these players in terms of sheer quantity of the key passes and of quality as well. As we can see, he tops the chart for expected assists. assists. So if you're looking for those assists, Gallagher is the top guy for you. We are kind of seeing, again, Jota, although he's not making as many key passes as some of the other players, the chances that he does create are of a high quality. And finally, we've got points here, which, I don't know, I think this is a little bit of a interesting one, because the rest is kind of underlying stats. This is just pure FPL points. And we're seeing that Cornetto and Smith Rowe, despite falling short in pretty much every other category, they do actually end up getting the most points. Maybe that's by luck. Maybe that's because they're amazing footy players. I don't know. That's kind of up to you to decide. But yeah, Zaha actually is rock bottom of the table in terms of actual points output. So yeah, not so good there. But yeah, overall, I think you can see, I don't know how much you want to take in the points to consideration. Are points really an indication of future points? I try to ignore points scored previously as, just points alone as a stat. I don't really use points scored as a stat when deciding for players, but I know a lot of you guys do, so I do think it was worth mentioning how many points per game, or per start on average, these players get. And then you can see the little fixture icons I made there at the side, so you can kind of get a rough idea of the difficulty of the players' next 4 fixtures as well. And now I'm going to jumble up these players just a little bit, because this is the order that I have landed on. This is the order I've landed on in terms of best to worst. Top being first, Jota being first, he's the best one, all the way down to the bottom where, unfortunately, according to my algorithm, Cornet is the worst. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on how I worked this out, but I basically, did an aggregate of how good each of these players are in each of these respective stats, and kind of added all the points together. I did it in a kind of golf way. Whoever has the least amount of points wins. So I say, for example, we've got, I can't remember who it was now, but say Smith Rowe has 0.13 expected goals. That gives him 6 points in that category. So the less points you have, the better. Because he's the 6th best, 6 points. Yeah, you can go work it out at home if you really want to, but I'm sure most of you are not interested. But this is that was kind of how I worked it out. I know it's very rough. I know it's a poor way of actually deciding who is the best, but at least it helps us look at who is perhaps the best based on the stats in front of you. It gives us at least a rough order. I'm not saying that this is an absolute. FPL doesn't work like that. Football doesn't work like that. This is not an absolute. Maybe some of these stats have a little bit higher value to you than others, but this is where we've ended up. And Jota and Bernardo actually ended up on the same amount of points total. So, if we include fixtures as well. So, yeah, I have put Jota just above because I do think that the stats that Jota has are slightly more important. The kind of attack, the shots in the box, the big chances, the goal scoring stats are perhaps worth a little bit more than the assisting stats there, maybe. So, and the points total stats, stuff like that. So, yeah, Jota and Bernardo, if I'm being a purist on my own point scoring system, Jota and Bernardo are joint, but because I don't really pay too much attention to the point score, average points per game scored in particular, I have just put Jota ahead because that's one of the stats he really fell behind on, and it made Jota perhaps look a little bit worse than he is by my own measure. But like I said, guys, this is just a very, very rough guide. Now, what we do see here is a split here between Jota, Bernardo and Zaha being the top 3, and Gallagher, Smith Rowe and Cornet being the bottom 3, and it's also a significant divide in price, a 1 million really a 1 million-ish gap between those top 3 and the bottom 3. So maybe you split these into 2 categories, and you say that Jota is the best around the 7 million mark, and you say that Gallagher is the best around the 6 million mark. But this looks pretty right to me. The problem again with Smith Rowe and Cornet is that their underlying stats are actually pretty poor. Although they've been scoring high points, their underlying stats have looked poor. Jota, on the other hand, maybe he's not been scoring the most points, but he's underlying stats look phenomenal. They look really good. We know he's going to be starting loads and loads of games all in a row. It's looking really good. Bernardo, again, similar thing. Zaha can't quite keep up with your Jotas and Bernardos, but he's still not too bad. And he is taking a lot of shots as well. Again, a little bit of a risky player, maybe because even considering taking the risk aside, the superstition aside, Jota and Bernardo still do outperform him a little bit. So maybe those are the guys to go for. Jota and Bernardo are the ones ones I will be most likely to bring in. Jota, I am bringing in because I made this list. Really, is a big reason why I am going to be bringing in Jota, because I've got that definitive answer. If you're looking for someone cheaper, Gallagher, that is your answer. And interestingly, I just think this is a good maybe indication that maybe Smith Rowe and Cornetto are not necessarily the players to go for. Maybe you thought they were. If you were just looking at the points they've scored recently, for example, you would be naturally inclined to go for a Smith Rowe or a Cornetto, but as things stand by my own very, very rough algorithm, maybe they are not the players to go for. So there you go, guys. That is my very, very definitive, not definitive list of the best midfielders in FPL to go for right now. Hopefully that's going to help you out. Thank you so much for watching this video. This went on a little bit longer than I expected. I was actually aiming to do a slightly shorter video today, but there we go. Once I get talking about FPL, I can't really stop myself, can I? But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe if you're new around here as well. You know, all helps out the channel massively. And there we go. That is the content done for Game Week 13. So if I don't see you on stream, a massive good luck for all of you. Hope you all absolutely smash it this week. As long as you don't do better than me, then I'm happy. Right, but you can do as well as you like, as long as you don't do better than me, because I got to win this thing. But there we go, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys, once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.